anyone who is able to walk but deliberately chooses to beg, if found guilty, shall be punished with an imprisonment term of up to 5 years. You cause loss to that person. Police people are watching this, please, you don't have the right, any right whatsoever, to prepare transfer documents of land. But if you know you have been summoned because of monetary issues, and you don't have at least an amount of money to go and pay, better don't go you. Because they'll detain you and until you pay an amount of money before they'll release you. Imagine owing someone 500k.
And you go to empty handed. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Real Life Show. I'm your humble host, Amos Belmo. And if this is your first time watching us, please make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, make sure you leave a comment and share this video. I've noticed that a lot of our viewers, a lot of you guys come here and just watch and you go away. The only way you can support what I'm doing or, make me feel confident about what I'm doing is by subscribing and is by liking, making sure I also know that you like what I'm doing. So, have you ever sat down to think to yourself, is what I'm doing right? Is this thing that I'm doing actually correct? Will it correct? Can it get me into trouble? Will it get me into trouble? If not now, maybe eventually, maybe sometime in the future. Have you ever sat down to think to yourself, maybe I should even get a lawyer? Just for, unforeseen circumstances. Today in the studio, we are going to be joined by lawyer Kemajong Junior Nelvi. And he's going to be educating us about some of these things, some of the things that we do that we think is normal, or the things that we do and we think we are going to get away with it, but you might eventually not get away with it, and you definitely land you somewhere that you would not love to be. So, lawyer Kemajong, welcome to the studio.
Thank you so much, sir.
I want you to, first of all, I want you to tell us what kind of law do you practice? What kind of law do you practice?
Okay, so basically, as a young advocate, we do not have any specific law that we practice. So for now, we practice basically every area of law, because the more you know, the better for you and the better your chances. So at the very start, you cannot afford to specialize. And it is important to know that in Cameroon, we don't have a practice of specialization, although advocates have the right to specialize. Like if you go to big towns like Douala, Yaoundé, where there are a lot of companies, you see that there are a lot of lawyers who are focused on areas like company law, insurance, and a whole lot of others. Whereas if you go to other smaller towns, you see that some lawyers basically do everything. Yes, so, but nothing stops you from practicing every area of law, so long as you think you can and you are capable. Yes.
So it's not a matter of not being allowed to, it's a matter of, are you capable of doing?
Certainly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what made you decide to become a lawyer?
So I'll just say it's just basically out of passion. It is not a decision I took today or before going to the university. Back then, right when I was still in Form 3, I always said to myself I was going to become a government lawyer. So it was only when I got to the level of going to the university that when I got to chambers, they gave me the knowledge that I needed. So the government lawyer, I got to understand that it was the state council. Then looking at the stakes involved, becoming a magistrate, going to ENAM and all of that, looking at the background too. I said, no, it will be unwise to start wasting my parents' money on concourse. So since this one, there is a high chance of entering based on merit, I will take this one. Okay. So basically, my passion actually got me here.
Which means you don't, despite you not writing concourse to go further, you don't plan on remaining where you are.
Certainly, I am very, very happy where I am. I just need to grow more hard,
And based on merit, like you say, you might eventually get somewhere.
Exactly. Because I had two careers basically in mind, a journalist and then becoming a lawyer, because my father actually contributed in nursing that passion in me to become a journalist. But as time went on, I saw that it was not really something that was good. I did inquiries. I discovered that the school, we didn't even have the school there in Bamenda in the Northwest and all of that. And I looked at the complexities involved in actually becoming. So I already took up this path. Yeah, I just choose this path, that this is what I really want to do. And if you look at the nature of courses I studied right from that point, like in lower seed, I did E5 because when I looked at the career paths, you see that philosophy, history, literature, those are things that were going to help mold me, to help me sharpen my career path. We have people who get to decide only when they're already at the level of the investing. It already becomes problems. And there are even people that they don't even know what they want to study. Their parents come and they apply because, truly speaking, from real life experience, when we started school, before I even applied for admission, I went to school and I saw the dean and I asked, I want to become a lawyer, which law should I study? I was informed private law. There are some people whose uncles and aunties came and did their admission. They applied for them public law and all of that. After about 2 semesters, they discovered that it was not going the way they wanted to. They wanted to become lawyers, but then they are in the public law field. So most of them started applying for change of department, which eventually caused them a lot of problems. Because even if your department is changed, since your initial department was not the one you've applied for it to be changed into, your results always come out where your initial, so it brought them a lot of problems. So you see, it's good to be informed and really take the right decision prior to taking such a big step, because what you study has a high bearing on what you eventually become. But I know a lot of people are going to argue that they studied this and they're not doing this. But it all depends on how passionate you are, though. If you ask my boss, he's going to tell you. Because, so that's just it.
What I wanted to just say was, I would boldly say that 90% of people that say, I want to become this, I want to become this, I want to become this, they eventually change totally at the end of the day. So is it that, is all of this based on the people around you or really just yourself?
I think there's a point in life wherein you have to sit and you assess yourself as someone growing up, and you ignore whatever people are saying around you. Because I can remember back then when I was just attached to Chambers, although now I'm still attached to Chambers, but at a different level, you just be an aspirant. Because you can just come, you aspire, you see how things are done, they are using you as errand boy, teaching you things, because it is by doing that you learn. Yeah, I'm sure you have apprentices in whatsoever thing you're doing. So as you are giving them tasks as they're doing, that's how they learn. You understand? So you hear people say, oh, that's enough for rich people that are picking them. Oh, I know people, they don't do law, they do momo kiosks for corner road for Bambi. Forget that's enough now. People they come up poor background. But then one thing they never knew was that I already had the information I was looking out for. Like probably those things will have gotten into my head. I knew that this one, it is possible to get inside this one on merit. Why? Because it is a private career. It's one thing to get inside, it's another thing to actually succeed. You understand? So it's not like a government work wherein you are being paid a salary. No. Your success will highly depend on your ability to work hard, what you can give out, how you can help people solve problems. Yeah. So if you cannot do that, then you may just enter and then you find yourself going out. Yes. So you don't need to let anybody demotivate you. You need to assess yourself. First of all, the first thing that will contribute to your success is what? The motivation. Ask yourself, why am I doing what I want to do?
Yes.
If you can conveniently answer that question, then you will know whether you are actually doing what you want to do or you're just following the crowd. Because following the crowd, you must obviously fail. We understand that the economy is really difficult. It is really, really difficult. But then it is good to go for something that, you know, it is actually possible to make it. But we are at an era wherein education is not just to get jobs. I'm not sure if we were not educated, we'll be able to communicate conveniently and understand ourselves. No. It already poses a lot of problems. There are people who cannot speak English for 5 minutes without literally including pidgin to balance up of statements. It's because of shortage of vocabulary. You understand? And the shortage of the education, with no malice on anyone who uses pidgin and English to communicate conveniently according to them. But then I believe education is very important. Just by you watching the news, you understand what is being said. You are able to properly follow up. It's enough. It's really good. It should not just be tied to getting a job. If you want to really make money, those who want to become lawyers, I'll tell you, go and do business. Just leave the law work. Go and do business. If you're not passionate about it, just go and do your business. You make money in business.
Exactly.
Maybe you can have 1 million, 2 million. In the next 4 or 5 years, you are already a millionaire. But if you're passionate about education, good. If you're passionate about money, go and do business. Yeah, because you may enter and then the money is not forthcoming as you thought. You have to work. It's just like starting a new business. I'm still a young advocate. You don't expect to take me and compare me to a lawyer of 10 years standing, a lawyer of 20 years standing. You will not take your small spare part business that I started 1 year ago and compare it with someone who has been in the business for 15, 20 years. Obviously, you understand. So that is where some of us mistake things. Yes. So we need to understand that you need to grow in everything you're doing. I'm not even sure you started this your studio with everything that you needed to start. As time grew, you saw the need somewhere, you upgrade as things are moving.
Yes.
And that's just how it's supposed to be. That's the whole philosophy about life that some people are not, they seem to misconstrue it. They don't really get it. So it's just...
So you would say most times it's because people don't have the right, people are not informed. People are not informed about the right thing.
And they don't even know themselves. Yes, they don't know themselves. They don't know their abilities. I believe that God blessed some people with extra intelligence. Yes. I believe some people were made to be more than others. That is just a fact. No matter how hard you work, like some people you will never be like, it just has the way that God has just like the way God made it to be. No matter how hard you work in terms of intelligence, it cannot be more than them. It's not possible. Even in terms of money or literally anywhere, just know yourself, know your ability. But you can actually do your best. I believe in the fact that everybody can be comfortable. I know that everyone cannot be rich. Everyone cannot, but I know that everyone can be comfortable. Meaning everybody has their definition of success. To you, success may mean that you're able to buy your small car, be a small house, set up your small business, take care of your family conveniently without having to ask for something else. Another person's definition of success may be that they need to have 4 mansions, buy GLEs, AMGs, or how they call it, like have a fleet of cars. Everyone desires a luxurious and a comfortable life, but not everyone will be able to afford it at the end of the day. But everyone can actually strive to be comfortable. That is when you need whatsoever. You don't necessarily need to ask someone. If you need to pay your children's school fees, you know that this is my budget. And this is the schools that I'm going to send my children to that I can conveniently and comfortably afford. You understand? Without having to necessarily bother anybody for anything. To some person, that's his own success. At least he has tried. And he's successful at his own level. But to another person, it is different. You understand? So I think problem tonight is competition. It's unnecessary.
Yes.
To me.
Exactly. Now, when you mentioned that there was a period that you are doing the errand boy.
Even now, I still do errand boy, but at another level.
Yeah, exactly, at another level.
You must do it.
So, do you think people actually have the patience to go through all that to get to where they want to be?
That is a very, very important question. It's patience too. You see this in that patience, because there's one thing that people say, know the difference between patience and wasting your time.
Yes.
So you see, many people don't actually have that patience. Why? Because when you are an aspirant in a law office, you are not given a dime. In 99% of law offices, they don't give you a franc. So imagine you as a young graduate who just left school.
Every day.
Yes, you need to be going to the office, executing tax against no pay, not even motivation, nothing like transport or whatever, but they require you to come to work and then you move under the sun. You know, the lawyer's work is not like any other conventional job that you come to your workplace, you come and you sit the whole day, you're working. As we come to the office in the morning, you are leaving. You may be going to the brigade, you may be going to court, you may be going to one other place that you've been sent to. That is how they work. If you don't work from the office 90% of the time, it's difficult to come and see a lawyer sitting. Even if you see more senior lawyers sitting, they have their subordinates who are on errands doing what they are supposed to do for them. You understand? So many people don't have that motivation. Many people don't have that patience to come and then it's almost like they're using you. You understand? Yes, it's almost like they're using you.
In their hand.
Yes. Imagine you will not even be able to afford data. I can remember one time when I just graduated from the university. My father was normally giving me, because I was attached to the office before even going. On days I'm not going to school, I will go to the office. On days I'm going to the office, I will not go to school and all of that. On my free days, because the university don't go to school every day. So on those days, I usually take my transport for my father and then I'll just use it and go to the office. It was convenient. So when I graduated now, my father knew that I was no longer going to school. So he will not give me any transport. So when I get up now, I have to hold him by force to say, Papa, so I need transport. He told me one day that he will call every day with big coat there, so that we things will be better, man. I don't get no transport. That I almost died that day.
Yeah.
So you understand. So you see, a lot of people have quit. A lot have quit. They just come. They try 1 month, 2 months. They just go them back. They try 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. They just go back and start doing their business or doing other things.
Yes.
Yeah. So it is really for the fittest. And if you are not motivated at that level, it cannot be possible. People who have parental support is good. People who have parents who are educated, they understand how the system works good for them. But you that you are just coming from a background that basically there is nobody who understand how the system works and all of that. Like now, there are lucky people who have educated parents and rich parents who already know the system. So by the time you are finishing this level, they already have plans for your next level and all of that. But people who have to find their way by themselves, what becomes of them? So you see that you need to be extremely determined for you to be able to make out something for whatsoever you've studied.
Yes.
Yeah. So you see, your motivation is supposed to be different. So me, I'm working as 10 times as hard as someone who is just working just one time. For all of us to be at the same level, because they already have a natural advantage over me. Their parents are lawyers. They already have established offices. They already have 5. Their parents have bought them cars. I only need to work very hard to buy my own car. Nobody will buy me a car. Yes. You understand? You understand? So basically, I think that is just it.
Now, what kind of cases do you deal with most often?
Most cases. I think one prominent area that I constantly receive calls is this area of cyber criminality and security and criminality. You know, these guys always, police people to have seen them as their own, I put it in quotes, farm. Or constantly arresting, extorting, beating some, victimizing some just to get money from them and all of that. But you will see that the guys who are not totally innocent, they are not innocent. So exactly. You see. And then another very prominent area is matrimonial causes. Divorce, a lot of divorce, and then criminal law cases pertaining to maybe theft, misappropriation, and a whole lot of others. Let me just put it under the banner of criminal law, and then land transactions.
Yeah, especially in Bamenda.
Yeah, Bamenda.
We know Bamenda for land transactions very well.
Lawyers in the northwest and the southwest double as notaries. Here in the French region, we have a notaire who is independent from a lawyer. But there in the northwest and the southwest, lawyers perform an extra function of notary publics. You understand? So basically, it gives them that power to do contracts, do paperwork, notarize land agreements, all of this kind of. But lawyers here in the French region do not have that extra competence to do so. And the only reason for it being so is because of the colonial heritage that we inherited from England and the common law system, why the French law civil system applies here. Although we have some joint laws in many regards, but some practicalities are different. Yeah.
Now, how often do you hear people say, I don't know, or keep quiet when they get into trouble?
I don't know, or keep quiet. The truth is that many people don't...
ignorant.
The thing is that many people don't even know their rights. When it comes to dealing, especially, I'll answer that question, especially vis-a-vis dealing with uniform people. Yeah. Many people are really intimidated. They are afraid. And then one thing I would say is that many people don't have that confidence in the judicial system. You understand? Like recently, I came across a judgment from the court in Nigeria saying a policeman was ordered to pay damages, and that the court affirmed people's right to record police officers when they are being harassed. The thing is that many people know their rights. I would say they know their rights, but then they feel intimidated. Even when they are in trouble, they just start begging. Even when they are on their right, they are still forced to beg for one simple reason: the power of the detention cell. Have you ever imagined yourself being locked up in this room for one day? That is like you cannot go out from there. You maybe just have somewhere that you can eat yourself in a bucket or whatever. Just imagine yourself being locked up in this room for one day. And then can imagine what people go through for 3 days, 4 days. At times they lock you like that and they start asking for money. 700,000, 1 million. Appelle vos familles. Appelle votre soeur, appelle votre frère, all of that, you understand? Even when the state council is coming for control, at times they remove them, they go and keep them in a separate room. Because by law, the state council is supposed to check all of those places.
Okay, pass by and check
detention,
those
yes, occasionally, every day, and check who is in detention, why is in detention, how many days you have been in detention, because normally they cannot detain you for more than 4 days, renewable ones, meaning a maximum of 8 days. They're supposed to transmit the file. The cell is not a prison. It is just detention pending investigation. But now they use it as what? A source for intimidation, a source for extortion. Source to victimize people, so much so that when people even know their rights, they're even afraid to enforce it. Just so afraid, they're intimidated, they cannot even say anything. And then the lack of confidence, because if you even say sue this police officer, sue this person, they will not want to sue, because they know that they understand that the case may go nowhere, or maybe they're just broke, they don't have money to follow up a case, and all of that. So you see, when people get into trouble, they may not know their rights, but they are afraid. In the nutshell. Yeah.
Now, these detention cells that they're talking about, do you think if people knew what it is and how you are supposed to be treated there, like you said, it should not exceed 8 days.
Exactly.
You're not supposed to be there for more than duration. That is a week, and
it's even 4 days, and then extension once to 8 days. Meaning that, and that extension must come upon express authorization from the State Council, because the State Council, that is the Procureur de la République, is the boss of the judicial police. All of these police people that you see, they are what we call judicial police officers. The reason why they add judicial to their name is because they play a key role in the judicial process by what? Getting evidence, arresting suspects, putting together an investigation report, and then transmitting it to the competent authority, who is the State Council for prosecution, to be commenced.
So for extension, they need to see reason.
Authorization from the State Council before they extend. But you go at times to visit a client, you don't know how many days a year. I've been here for the past 5 days, 6 days, and they have not done anything. So at times they keep those dossiers there or files to negotiate. As negotiations are not really going the way they want, they keep keeping you. Maybe something can come out until it is finally clear that something is going nowhere. Yeah, that they will transmit the file to the State Council. You understand? But when negotiations are ongoing, are you calling your family? Are they coming? They'll promise. I don't know if you've had this experience, if you've ever had someone or you yourself have ever been in the cell, you understand how these people operate. You get the point.
That's crazy.
But another, obviously, some people too are really criminals. Yes, they are really criminals. They engage in a lot of wrongdoing, too.
But even so,
yes, but even so, the law still protects you. You're only wrong if the law says you are wrong. Yes, so it doesn't imply that, these people are with a lot of emotion and then the power of the gun too.
Yes.
Yeah, people are afraid of gun. If you point me a gun with all the law I know, I'll surrender. Will I not surrender? Why? If they shoot me, if I die, I need to surrender first before seeing what to do after. I will not be saying I know law. No, surrender first. That's why you hear people say, hey, police people, they beat lawyer. I don't want to forget that thing. That obviously they have the gun. If they point it at you, you must surrender. My own body is not iron.
It's not iron.
Yes, I have the same body as any other person. If you shoot, I will go. So I need to surrender first before any other thing.
Now, how dangerous is this mindset of not knowing? How dangerous is it to the people? Not knowing you're right. Not knowing how things are supposed to be done. Because the truth is, people don't even sit down to want to know. Yes, they maybe only know when they are caught up in that situation, and then they learn from it. Like they don't actually. How dangerous is it to people?
The mindset of not knowing. First and foremost, I would say it leads to exploitation. If you look at section 75 of the Penal Code, what does it say? Ignorance of the law and motive. Neither ignorance of the law nor motive shall be material to criminal responsibility, which therefore implies that you cannot commit an offense and then you come and plead the defense of the fact that you never knew. Only that definition already tells you that if you don't know, you can get yourself into problems that you would have easily avoided. Yes, problems that you would have easily avoided. Why? Because you may be doing something ignorantly, only at the end of the day to turn and discover that was an offense. Ignorance is very dangerous. Like they usually say, no information is useless. The reason why when people come across shows like this one, they are quick to even scroll. They will not want to really follow up, pay attention, pick one or two things that can save them from trouble tomorrow. Understand? I think if you've been driving a car, or anyone who uses a car, you know that a problem of 1,000, you will have used 1,000 to resolve and keep you on the road. If you ignore it, just imagine.
Yes.
Just your tires that you failed to inflate at the time that you were supposed to inflate. You just imagine that it gets bad where you don't have any EK in a tire. You understand? So you see, knowing the law is going to help you take a caution. Not knowing is going to help you act haphazardly. And then we have this very dangerous mindset now that people have, that there's no law in Cameroon, blah, blah, blah. I understand the perspective from the angle that they are looking at it. But I would like to tell them that it is very, very wrong. There's law in Cameroon. When you follow, some of you follow friends and see things and do things that when you eventually get into problems, you don't know who that your friend's father or mother knows, or they are themselves. You understand? They can always press buttons, press their bank account. Something comes out, they feel they can sort out the problem. Because even to have someone follow up, me, I did not study for free, so obviously don't expect me to come and follow up your problem. By the time you come to a lawyer's office first, they send you to the secretary to pay consultation fees, which may range from maybe 50,000, 100,000 before they start listening to what you have to say. Imagine you not even be able to afford that amount.
Consultation fee.
Yes, not even talk of legal fees and many other kind of fees that will be coming up in the course of following up the issue. So, if you know you are ignorant, better stay off problems and try to educate yourself as much as possible, and don't follow people say or do things that they are doing, because you don't know who any other person knows. Yes, I don't know how they are connected in the system. Yes, exactly. I'm not giving place for connection, but then it is good to always play safe and play wise.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I have to say.
Now, what's one common thing that people do on a daily basis that can actually get them into legal trouble?
There are just a lot of them, especially with the advent of social media. You know, everybody now is on social media. A lot of things. This unnecessary dragging. I'm sure if you're following up with posts from some of our very common content creators there in Boya, by the time they drag, it ends at the police.
Someone
drag, it ends at the police. Why? Don't you find that funny?
Very
by the time you drag, imagine you as a content creator, they come and bundle you and throw you inside the cell.
Start showing you
spend 1-2 days, they start signing undertakings. So I think, although that is one of the fastest ways to gain visibility on TikTok. You know, many people do that for visibility. But the aftermath is always there. The consequences are always there thereafter. So you come, you do anyhow, you see anyhow. Yeah, as they usually say.
To you, does this thing of dragging on social media and then ending up in the police station, or someone getting locked up at the end of the day, do you think it is it's really necessary to lock? Because at the beginning, we often find out that these people communicate normally, like they were communicating before, like normally, and then because of something, maybe they are looking for that visibility that you're talking about, someone decides to cross the line on something, and then you are like, no, he should not do this, I'm going to write. Do you think that is necessary to do that, or just settle?
It is often said that in pidgin, now let my way shoe no say the hobby. You understand? So if you're not actually in their shoes, you will never understand how they really feel. You know, everybody, human being by nature is an emotional being. Yeah, so people may always tend to judge people that, why did you take it is online, why did you take it to the authorities or whatever. You cannot judge people for reacting the way they reacted. Everyone has their own way of responding to issues. To me, if you cross the line, it is necessary to take it that way. Yes, it is necessary to take it that way. Imagine someone coming online, doing things that can basically wipe you off. Like in terms of your business, in terms of your person. Look at, okay, in a job like us where your reputation really counts a lot in terms of your determining how you succeed or how people appreciate you or whatever. Imagine someone coming online and then saying some kind of things about me.
image.
That will basically just drag my reputation to the mud. Things that basically I did not even do. Just for lying fake, just saying as they wish. You understand? So basically I need to take it to the authorities because I cannot take the laws into my hands. It is wrong to take the laws into your hands. So I only need to prosecute following the valid route. So it is very necessary if people cross the line because people have their own ways of responding to situations. I think if someone equally puts you at that level, you may be forced to react in a certain kind of manner that many people may not even appreciate it. You understand? Like they say, everything equally has their elastic limit.
Exactly.
Even a string, when you you stretch it, it will certainly reach its elastic limit. Where you can no longer tolerate or take it again. So you only have to go to the authorities. But then, one thing I have to equally say is that to avoid all of this, you can equally dissociate yourself from unnecessary social media dragging. Like if you look at me, for one, I know that many people do it to grow. That's to grow their accounts. That's the main reason for all of this. Chu up, chu left, chu right. Because if you come online and you are trying to do something good, meaningful, it will be very difficult for you to grow.
Yes.
But if they just hear that they are dragging you today for something, let's just hear that I'm involved in one controversial issue. Look at my account, 100k followers. Many people want to find out what is going on and whatever. You understand? Yes. So I think someone like me, it's difficult to see me in any social media dragging or stuff. I only comment on things that people tag me to ask for my opinion on the issues and all of that. But the thing is that when you do like that, many people have already understood that when you do like that, it will be difficult for you to grow very fast. So they always want to do those controversial things. At times, they even set up, that at times, allegedly, they'll set up some of these dragging things just to grow and all of that. Like if you look the recent one of Zelekus and Zelekus, many people already know that is a set up kind of dragging stuff too, just to equally boost visibility. And all of that. So you see, at times they arrange these things, and then at times we don't know if they actually real. The ones that enter the police will know that they are real.
That is very real.
The ones that enter the police, we know that they are real. So we can readily distinguish between the arranged dragging and the real actual dragging.
How does the law treat cases where, let's say it begins from social media, I decide to start dragging you about something, and then in the means of this dragging, you come and you attack me, like physically. You come attack. And you beat me up, and then I retaliate also. I come back and then I beat you, and then maybe you feel like, no, the way I beat you is more than the way you did to me. All of us are physically assaulted.
No proportionality.
Yes, there's no proportionality. So you decide that no, this cannot, and I will take this man to the court or maybe to the police or wherever. I take legal action. How does the law treat cases like this?
So like you stated that, let's just assume that we're dragging online or maybe beefing as they usually put it, and then we happen to take it physical, offline. And then at the first instance, I happen to deal with you, you go and you come back, you equally deal with me and say, no, the way you dealt with me is more than the way I dealt with you. Let's take it to the police. So first and foremost, the way the law will treat it is not like, all of that will all constitute circumstantial evidence to the case. What we need to do is that, first, I need to make my own complaint against you. You will make your own complaint against me. That situation, it is known as a cross complaint. A cross complaint is a situation wherein I complain against you, you complain against somebody, and then the person complains against you. Let me just use this opportunity to say something. I've had to conclude many cases through cross complaint. In terms of the fact that someone will say, you did this to me. You equally say, no, you equally did this to me. You complain, I complain. So that you're pinching me on the right, I'm pinching you too on the left. So you see that the person go and withdraw their own complaint, you withdraw your own, and then the case is settled. So that is what you as a wise person should always do. If someone has wronged you and you've wronged them, they make their complaint, make their own too. Because they always treat you unfairly, that the complaint has been made against you. Also make yours against them, so that they'll be dealt with. Okay, so in that kind of situation, since it was a case of assault, under the penal code, we have several forms of assault. We may have assault occasioning grievous harm. We may have grievous harm, assault occasioning death even, and then we have simple harm. We have slight harm. You understand? So now, prior to making complaints, go to establish a report, a medical report. So from the medical report now, it's going to determine which particular offense it can be qualified against. Because we look at slight harm, incapacity, up to 8 days. Simple harm, incapacity, up to 30 days. Grievous harm, dismembering a part of the body. Okay, then you said you dealt with me more than they were there. You just imagine that you happen to break a finger of mine or break an arm of mine. That is grievous harm. You understand? Yes. By assault occasioning grievous harm, it never implies that that's an offense to that means you assaulted me, and then I, as a result of your assault, maybe I lost a part of my body. It became dysfunctional as a result of your assault. So a lot of offenses may come into play depending on the nature of the medical report. You understand? So the law, all of these social media facts, whether it started from where or whatsoever, will just constitute facts to support whatsoever case you are taking before the authorities.
Now let's just say you committing this assault, you are supposed to get, we are just an example, yes, you are supposed to get 4 penalties. Now can they decide to give, no, they were supposed to give me 4 penalties. Now can they decide to give me just 2 because you also assaulted me? Will it contribute to my penalties being reduced?
Your case will be tried independently from mine. You understand? Although we can always plead the defense of self-defense, provocation, because in law we have several forms of defenses. And the most probable defense in this situation will be self-defense and then provocation and all of that. So it all depends. So your case will be stemming independently from my own. You understand? It will not be a joint suit. Maybe at the level of the court, they may even send them to different courts. Maybe me against you before one court, you against me before the other court. So every judge has the way they are going to appreciate the facts and then determine what kind of punishment. So the question of proportionality is a question for the judge to appreciate the facts and the evidences that have been adduced before the judge, and then to determine what form of punishment should be given to the party. But you guys can still decide and settle, and then you withdraw your cases before the court. You understand? So most cases before they go to our end, some people always like to apply to withdraw. Get the point. You know, they can discuss, negotiate, settle, and then come and withdraw their case.
Have you ever seen a mistake that somebody does, or an action that somebody does, and then you just laugh and say that if you know where this thing can take you, like they don't know. And is there anything that you've ever seen someone do like that?
I have several of them, several of them. The first, I would say, a very recent one. There's this guy who reached out to me. I will come in terms of criminal law. There are a lot of them under there. There's this guy who reached out to me a while ago that he wanted to purchase a land. Then voila. I counsel this guy, since lawyers are not notaries, so cannot prepare document, that we advise him to go and see a competent notary to prepare those documents for him, have the place investigated and do the needful. The guy, I told him that you pay approximately, with the purchase amount, he's going to pay approximately 200 and something thousand in fees. So maybe to cut down costs, he went and saw the police. So they prepare one after the van. By law, a police officer, if police people are watching this, please, you don't have the right, any right whatsoever, to prepare transfer documents of land. You don't have that right. Maybe you can do that for motorcycle sales, vehicle sales, and all that. It is proper. But for land transactions, you've been stripped of that. You don't have the right at all. By the 1974 Ordinance Section 8/1 on land tenure in Cameroon. So recently now, less than 3 months after purchasing that land, that guy reached out to me. He said he has come to start doing his work on the land. They told him that it is like this. The land has a problem. They produced an injunction that was issued sometime in 2024. So that those people deceived him into buying that place by the deal. And so, whereas if he went to the notary, and that there's a land certificate in process about that place, the notary will have done what he's supposed to do to give him the information. And so I say, look at something as small as ignoring that 30-second voice note.
Yes.
Has cost him now close to 5 million. You understand? It has cost him close to 5 million, because before you start looking at those people, they may go there, start signing, you start dragging them up and down. They sign undertaking to start paying you 100,000 out of your 5 million that you struggle to put together. You understand? So ignoring just that 30-second voice note, that's why at times people come to you for consultation, you even charge them fees. They say, just for something as small. It's not really that small a thing. Look at the significance of what is being given now. Okay, look at another situation of some of these guys who cannot control their lust. going after children below the age of 16. I've said this and I've emphasized on several occasions. Avoid children below the age of 16. If you look at section 347, sub 3 of the penal code, if you have anything to do in terms of sexual intercourse with a girl below 16 or any person, but it's mostly common with girls. Yes. Some of these guys who cannot control their laws, men who cannot control their laws, you are gone. You are gone. You are finished. You start to face whether that child consented or not, whether you met that child. Ladies get relatively mature relatively earlier than men. Even if you met that child who already had a child, like maybe at the age of 13 years, and then you come and maybe the person who impregnated had disappeared, and then you came and you had sexual intercourse with her at the age of 15. The law will still deal with you. You understand? So whether you met her a virgin or not virgin or whatsoever, so long as you are the scapegoat, you'll be severely dealt with. Sub 3, you stand to face, it's a felonious offense. Meaning you stand to face an imprisonment term of more than 10 years. And for this case, 10 and 15 years. And it may even go right up to 25 years. For some of these people who have like a religious relationship with the person, if you're a minister of religion, if you have custody or care of the child, in terms of many people, many parents, some of these uncles, aunties that they usually send their relatives, the children, to come and stay in their houses. They are in jail because of this offense. They are in jail. Imagine that your sister sends a small daughter of 10 years, 12 years for you to assist her with maybe taking care of her, sending her to school, just live with you for some, and then you go and start violating your sisters. You go to prison. Even for the offense of incest too.
Yes.
You go to prison. So you see, many people have destroyed their life through these things. There's another case, similar case, that from two neighbors who they were living there like neighbors, you understand? And then this mommy went to the village to get a small girl. I think that girl is around 14 years old, 14, 15, now she's 15. And then the other neighbor has two sons. So these two sons, when they are not around, they'll go and they'll be sleeping with that girl. So they don't really know who is until that girl got pregnant. They don't even know the girl don't even know who is the father. Who is the father, Who is the father of the child? Because two brothers have been sleeping with her. You understand? And then she said it was one of them who was her boyfriend. But the other man too was just taking advantage. So they were just sleeping with the girl. Boys, one about 25 and then the other about 17 or 18. You understand? So you see, those two guys, like jail. Even though that girl is pregnant, she has already delivered. They're going to jail. So you see, their lives have been destroyed. Their lives have been destroyed because only the Procureur General, the highest judicial authority of the region, can enter what we call a nolle prosequi to discontinue criminal proceedings because the evidence is already clear. They're going to jail. You understand? So you see small things that have destroyed people's lives. Some people don't take some of these things really serious. There are a lot of them. But one thing I have to say is that most of these things usually end at the level of the police, the state council, the way they can discuss, negotiate it, withdraw and settle. But never ever allow it to get to the level of the court. If you get to the level of the court, it is a different ball game, please. If you have that small problem that I think is small, it's not as small as you think. Just never let it get to the level of the court. Just discuss, settle at the level of the police. If you can settle, you end it there. You understand? But if you get to the court, it is another ball game.
Now, can helping a friend get you into trouble? Like, for example, in cases where, okay, you said they detain you and then they are trying to negotiate.
Yeah.
Using intimidation to negotiate. And then maybe you call your friend that, okay, I'm in this place, they need this, and then your friend decides to help you out, maybe without full consent of what the actual matter is. Can
a friend decides to help you like in what terms?
Maybe they are asking him to pay for release or,
maybe sign your bail.
Yes, sign bail for something like that. And then without fully knowing actually why he is there, you decide that, okay, no, he is my friend, let me just get him out. Yes.
I would like to answer this question with a practical example I once witnessed. When I was still postulating. So there is this group of Nigerians who do business there at the main market in Bamenda. So one of them borrowed money from one Cameroonian and then was defaulting to pay, and he was even on the run. So they finally tracked and they got hold of him, and he was detained. At the level of the police, they could not settle the matter, and it was transmitted to the state council. So at the level of the state council, they finally discussed and arrived at a consensus on how he was going to pay back the money by making first a deposit of the amount, because I think it was about 5 million, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So when they had discussed now, it was now at the level of bail. They said he should bring people to sign for bail. Do you know that all of his Nigerian brothers refused to sign as to bail him out? Yeah, they refused. You know the kind of complaints they were giving, that they forgot their ID card. But whereas they know that their ID cards and everything is with them.
Yes.
But they don't just want to get themselves entangled into any problem. Because why? If you sign as a shorty bond or a bail bond, they don't forbid if a shorty bond. It therefore implies that you are obligated legally to produce that person whenever needed by that authority before whom that engagement was entered. You understand? You are legally obligated to produce that person. Bail is not acquittal. By bail not being acquittal, it simply means that it doesn't mean you have been free from the offense. Prosecution is still ongoing, subject to the fact that you've been temporarily released to appear whenever needed. Just that the whole meaning for bail has already been thwarted by some of our police officers to mean money that you pay for you to end the case or release or whatever. No, that's not the meaning of bail. Bail is just money that you pay for temporary. It's a shorty. Normally, by law, that money is supposed to be refunded to you. But now we already have fixed price in most police stations, 25,000. More from 25, 50, 100,000, even more in certain other cases. You understand? That money is normally supposed to be released to you. It's just like a security for your release.
Yes.
The court will say only the court grants an actual bail from what I've witnessed. Before the police and sometimes state council, the kind of thing that they do that bail is not bail.
Really
it's
bail.
not the real meaning of bail. You understand? The court will order that you should pay like 500,000. You should keep 500,000 in the coffers of the court. While the case goes to, and you can come and apply, you withdraw back your 500,000. It's just a security for you to come back. Or someone comes and guarantees you, because if that person defaults, he's going in for the offense. So you understand the legal engagement that you've taken yourself into. So you see a kind of mistake that someone has made, and then you see a lot of people just entering into agreements orally. Without having any written backed up proof. One guy reached out to me. Hey, barrister, I entered into a contract to construct this man's house. It's a duplex. It's a 3-floor story building. I've constructed the foundation, done everything. The hardest part now, he has said he doesn't want me to continue the work again. He's looking for another worker. First of all, was there a contract between you? I said, yes. He went and brought one roughly drafted thing by AI, things that he doesn't even understand. A professional knows how to use AI to fit what they know.
What they want.
Yes. You see people who code, they use AI. They know how to use it because they have knowledge in the field. I know how I can use AI to bring out what I want to do because I know what to remove, what to add, what to adjust, and so on and so forth. You understand? So I asked, did you sign any contract? Yes, I went and saw one thing from AI that he generated. It's even screenshot, not even paper sign. He said they did not sign. The man told him that it's not necessary to sign considering the fact that they've been working together and all of that. The thing is that he cannot do anything. He only have to accept the payment for the foundation and then allow the work. He has done all of the hardest part. Why? Because there was no written contract. And it doesn't only suffice for you to write the contract. It equally needs you to register the contract. Why do you think big companies like Edge, Burns, some of these construction companies, every contract that they have, they need to register for you to be able to enforce rights on them. By registration, it therefore means that you pay the necessary tax duties. But stinginess will not allow people to do the needful, to do what is legally required of them. Even with landlords, none of them want to draft tenancy contracts and register. 90% of, only 90, I'll say 98% of all our contracts, tenancy contracts over there, they have not gone through the process of it. They don't want to pay. They only want to be receiving and keeping and eating alone. They want to give the government, and so the government has kept the tax. So that's why you see when people even default to pay rents, they only have to be using the gendarmes to follow them up. Police people bribe them to be followed, intimidate them, because they know if it goes to court, it is failed. It's a failed case. You cannot enforce any right. You can be owing your landlord 1 million. The best you can do is just to be taking police, dragging you. They know that they don't want to leave the case to go to court. They'll force you to do negotiations that are taken at the level of the police. They will not want you to go to court because they know the case is what we call dead on arrival. The case is already dead before it even arrives.
What are some minor things that people do that can make a case escalate. Maybe they take a case to the police, like you said. They summons you and then you decide not to go.
Yeah, issue is summons. Yeah, you decide
and then you decide not to go. Is that can that significantly escalate the case that maybe you had with someone or
if you're someone or convoke before the police, as the Frenchman will put it, if you look, all of our convocations, it's usually written there convocation because it's really a French appellation. You know, we're in a really French country. English is just an addition. Understand? So if you are summoned before the judicial authority, maybe the state council or the police, and you decide not to go, normally, practically speaking, they usually issue a second one. If you don't come again, they can come and arbitrarily arrest you. By arbitrarily arrest you, it therefore implies that they don't have a warrant in most situations. They just come and they pick you up so long as the person gives transport. I will not really blame them that much because some people are really stubborn. Yes, some people are really that stubborn that if they are convoy, you will not see them. They are running away. They are giving one complaint to another. They are just rigmaroling, turning, spinning around. Some people are really difficult. You only have to use the iron way, the hard way to deal with them.
Bring them.
You understand? So I'll advise anyone that if you're someone, go. Especially when you have justifiable cause. But I always advise people, if you know you have been summoned because of monetary issues, and you don't have at least an amount of money to go and pay, better don't go you. Because they'll detain you. And until you pay an amount of money before they'll release you. Imagine owing someone 500k.
And you go the empty
Yes, maybe you use false pretenses to get it and then you go empty hand. One guy got to me recently, I was explaining that he's owing his landlord 900,000. And then the landlord has convoked him. He's supposed to go there, that he will go there and propose. I said, how much are you having on you? He said, nah, I have only 25,000 to pay B.
Out of 90,000.
900,000. So I told him that if you go there, don't know that you will not come back. You will not call all your family members to come and even put a deposit of 300,000, and then you take an engagement to see how you'll be paying now the balance of the money, because that's how it operates. If you are convoked for monetary issue, if you don't have the money, better don't go. Better see the person behind the scene and beg. If they cannot beg, you better escape for some time. Look for the money, come back, pay the person, because the bond of contention is money. So that if you share, when you show up with something, if they take you, go there and you pay, and you'll still be released. You take your engagement. Never go to the police if you are convoked for monetary problem without nothing on your body. They will deal with you. You will call everybody.
Okay, I saw one of your recent posts. You are making comments. I think you are making comments about a lady who destroyed, I don't know if it's the husband or boyfriend's television, and you are like, she can go to prison for this, or was it that they can take her to court for this? How is that? How does that work out?
You see, anger, love issues have sent a lot of people to prison. You see this love issue, I once did a video equally commenting that don't allow love issues to send you to prison. This is just one of the very, very prominent cases. Because right there, that lady can be sued for destruction. Defined and punished pursuant to section 316 of the Penal Code, and it may likely face up to 10 years in prison. 5 to 10 years in prison. You understand? Yes, that's the offense of destruction. Why? What does that law provide? That section provides that anyone who destroys the whole or part of property belonging to another person or charged in favor of another. By charged in favor of another simply implies that if you give this phone to maybe your co-worker that keep it for me, someone comes and destroys it while you've kept it in their charge, they could still be sued for the offense. That's what the law means by charge in favor of another. And so you leave anger and love issues to go and destroy someone's 55 or 65 or something inch TV, destroy things, valuables in the house. What that guy just needs to do is to make a report, a bailiff report of the destruction, assessing the possible value of the items and the total amount. They take you and they keep you for like 3 days in the cell pending doing investigation. By then your anger must have evaporated and then you must have come to your actual self, and you can now reason properly. As if you understand, you see most people start pleading. There's another situation that I witnessed concerning love. So there's this guy who was in love with this elderly woman. They were like in a romantic relationship. The guy was about 40 something. The woman was about 55, over 55 years old, and an old man. She has a very elder son of about 24, 25 years. You understand? So it's like they got into all of this relationship kind of argument and all of that. And then the guy just took things, even a foreigner in Nigeria, took petrol, fuel, finger, on the lady's body.
Okay.
As it's like some of the fuel equally poured on him. So as he light up the match, see, these things, when they say it is like imagination, these are actually something that happened. Like people could not believe when they brought this issue to court. People were in disbelief. As he lit up the match, around that woman's body, equally burned him even more than the woman. Destroyed the woman's face, breast area, the hands, everything. Burn him until his eyes could not even open properly.
Okay.
Burn his leg, and then they still tortured the man again with those burns on his body. He was already rotten. The wounds were already rotten. They never even wanted to sleep. You understand? So you see, because of all of these love issues, it's only because of relationship argument. If it's not going with somebody, leave it. Just avoid it. Learn to control your anger. Like I always said, a man with anger and a mouthy woman, you cannot really go. It will not work. Because you always be having problems that can lead to those kind of situations. But then when you see most people don't even want to always report because of love, they can always fix it, keep it within them. You see boyfriends assaulting girlfriends every day, beating them. What right does the man have to be beating you? Not even in terms of a lawful marriage and all of that. Laying his hands on you, beating you, whatever, or irrespective of whatever you have done. The best thing to do is to separate, go your separate ways, rather than laying your hands. What if you hit somebody and then they sustain an injury or they die? You are going to prison, going to jail. So some of these things we really need to be very, very cautionary about. We need to be very careful.
So as a lady now, if your boyfriend slaps you or beats you and you win, it's possible that he can make 5 years in prison.
Obviously.
If you want.
That's assault.
If you want.
That's assault. Assault,
now,
battery.
There is also another one that you mentioned, begging. That someone can go to prison for begging.
Section 247 of the Cameroon Penal Code. Section 248 even aggravates it. Yeah, begging. If you said anybody, that particular section provides that anyone who is able to walk but deliberately chooses to beg, if found guilty, shall be punished with an imprisonment term of up to 5 years. I think so. Up to 5 years and with a fine.
Yes.
You understand? If section 247 even goes further, or it's 246, it goes further to define aggravated begging. Means there's begging in the simple terms, like the one I've just defined, and aggravated begging. Aggravated begging comes in a situation where you threaten people. You know, some people threaten you, they beg you as if they're threatening you. You abuse the person before begging. It aggravates the whole situation. You understand?
Yeah.
So you see, some people people are even shocked that some of the time when I did this video, people were really shocked that begging could actually constitute an offense. They even shocked you to know that vagrancy, like you not having somewhere to stay, is an offense. We have a lot of people living in the street, just there doing that. Vagrancy. That offense is vagrancy. It's an offense. You not having where to stay. You are constituting nuisance to the street. You get so you see, it's just a whole lot that people really need to know about our laws too. It's just that some of these things, the way just often go neglected. Yes.
And another one that said, I don't know how you describe this, but if you give money to someone to use as transportation to come and see you and they don't come, you can take them to court also.
Yeah, for the offense of
or you can write a complaint against them.
Yeah. For the offense of false pretense is defined and punished pursuant to section 318(1)(c) of the Cameroon Penal Code, which is defined you cause loss to that person. But for you to succeed in such an action as a guy, the whole circumstances surrounding from the conversation to everything, it will be taken into account.
Yes,
you understand? From your conversation, you need to prove that the lady actually deceived you into sending that money. You understand? So you need to prove that particular aspect for it to constitute that offense.
It can count. And the lady says she's in Yaoundé alongside you, meanwhile she's in Boya. Can that count now?
It can count now. It's false pretense, that's deceit. Yes, and it can receive an imprisonment term of up to 10 years, 5 to 10 years. Let's just say if someone has been legally arrested, detained, and their purpose is to pursue the cause of justice. If they demand to open the phone and the person refuses, because per the criminal procedure code, you can actually consent that they should search your phone without a warrant. You understand? If you consent to the search, they don't need a warrant. If you refuse the search, they need a warrant to forcefully search it. You understand? So if that warrant is gotten, the warrant is to open the phone, and then they will prepare a report in respect to everything incriminating that was found in the phone. If they don't find anything incriminating, and then case goes nowhere. You understand? So they are supposed to do a report of what was found in the phone, and then that phone will even be kept as an exhibit to be tendered in court to support it. You understand? Yeah, because they need to prepare a report and then back it up with what they saw in the phone. They cannot just go and fabricate things.
Now let's begin from arresting by the road. Let's begin from now. A policeman looking at somebody and assuming that this guy is a scammer. Probably, yes, and then decides to take him to custody. Is that legal? Is that a legal arrest?
It is said at law. It is said at law that suspicion, no matter how strong, no matter how apparent, doesn't amount to proof. Section 307. He who alleges the responsibility of a particular fact bears the responsibility of proving it. He who alleges needs to prove. You understand? You cannot just arrest someone based on the mere fact of suspicion, no matter how strong your suspicions are. You understand? So basically, it is very, very wrong for a uniform officer to just see someone, assume, and then arrest them. It is very, very wrong. And these are things that happen on a daily basis. Because normally, the only situation that a police officer will be legally empowered to arrest you without a warrant is if you were caught flagrant daily. Flagrant daily is a situation wherein you are caught red-handed, that is caught in the course of committing the offense or after you've just committed the offense. For example, let's just say I'm caught with marijuana, I'm caught with tramadol, I'm caught with drugs, any kind. That is a flagrant daily. You understand? Maybe I'm caught in the course of purchasing, I'm caught in the course of selling that drug to someone, I'm caught in the course of maybe distributing the drug to someone. That is deemed flagrantly, and the police officer will be well within his rights to arrest you in such a situation. But if they don't see you performing any of such acts, arresting you is very illegal. Maybe you are caught just after you've just stolen from someone's store or whatever, or pickpocketed from someone. You get the point. So basically, it is quite a lot of irregularities going on that we need adjustment. I think in the nearest future, when our system, we hope, will be better, we'll be able to really ensure that things are really done the right way. And it will first of all start with the authorities. It's good that they are educated properly, or probably they are educated, but then due to the power of the gun, the authority, the detention cell, they just choose to abuse it.
Now, I'd like to know some of the things that maybe we do without knowing that are offensive to maybe a police officer or a uniform man, that maybe in the course of discussion you can do something that is offensive, or I don't know, that you are not supposed to do to them or say to them.
I think some of us are the cause of our own problems, especially when it comes to dealing with uniform officers. Like I earlier said, man by nature is emotional too. You understand? Meaning that the fact that they are uniform officers doesn't mean that they don't have emotions. They equally have it, even if they choose to kill it to some extent, but they have that emotion. So much so that at times a police officer may approach you politely. He's well within his right to request for certain things, from there you just start shouting at him, talking back really at him. Some may not take it lightly, some may choose to overreact. You understand? Maybe you start disrespecting him by bringing his grade into question, calling him sangalong. It is very improper to do that. Yes, and he may react in a certain kind of way. He's the one with the gun, and he has undergone the training. You choose to use his rank to disrespect him, probably because of wherever you think you are. It is very wrong. Maybe you are driving without all of your proper car documents or what you are supposed to have on you. For you to even politely see how you guys can fix things, you negotiate, because at times these things happen. You tend to want to use the hard way, talking back rudely, intimidating. It is simple. Not possessing your ID card is an offense. It carries with it an imprisonment term of up to 1 year per the 1997 law to lay down national identification card in Cameroon. So you see some people don't have national identification card and then they cannot even be polite about it. So even say maybe they have they misplaced it, they've not had time to go and do a lost document and do another one. They just start shouting over something as small as ID card, that talking about it is an offense. And I've seen people sentenced because of ID card, non-possession of national identification card. Many people have gone to prison because of that. That is what people will just treat very lightly on the street. But it is not like that when it gets to court. It is treated as the law says it should be treated. So please always try to be polite in your dealings. Even when your rights are being disrespected, the best thing you can do, inform someone. Let someone know of what is going on. And for these guys who know they are not clean, they are guilty, don't give these uniform men anything again to use against you, because they always use it to exonerate themselves, even if they violated you, maybe violated your rights, beating you or whatever. They always hang on that point that they saw this thing. Don't give them anything against you. If you're on the fact that you're not opening your phone, do not open it to the very last end. At the end of the day, your phone will not be open. But if you open, they get something against you, you will be properly dealt with.
Now, what about situations? Because I've seen situations where a man, like a driver, these people that drive how do they call this? These small vehicles that moved Douala to Limbe to Motengene to Boya.
Like Clando.
Clando, exactly. These drivers these Clando drivers, where maybe at a checkpoint, for whatsoever reason, a gendarme or a policeman slaps you or lays his hands on you and then they retaliate, and then at the end of the day you see them fighting like regular civilians. How does that play out?
It is very, very uncultured and conduct that we need to seriously frown at for a uniform officer to do, to lay his hands. You know what to do if someone abuses you. You understand? Like I said, they are emotional beings too. We cannot really tell how they will react at times to some of these provocations. Yes, so let's just assume he has reacted his own way, but it is a very, very bad conduct that should be frowned at, and that person can make a complaint. But it will be very improper for you as an individual to retaliate, to say, if you touch me, I'm going to give back your own in the same proportion. Why? Because once a uniform officer puts on that uniform, they are representing the state. They are not there on their own accord. If you touch them, you are not touching them. You are touching the state. They are there on behalf of the state. You understand? Yes, if you want to fight with a uniform officer who has dealt with you while you was putting on his uniform, wait for him to remove that uniform first. You meet him anywhere that you guys meet, maybe at a nightclub or wherever, at any corner. You finish it there. But once he's putting on that uniform, please just respect for the sake of the uniform. You'll let go. Because if you touch that uniform in that uniform, you've not touched him. You've touched by the state who has put him there, and it may be met with repercussions that may not be too friendly.
Would you say silence is the best option?
To an extent, silence, it would depend the situation that you find yourself in. So we talk of silence, in what kind of situation particularly? Maybe if you're being interrogated, should you stay silent? Maybe you've been invited to the police station for interrogation, or probably you were arrested for having been suspected of committing an offense. Should you stay silent? Because the right to stay silent is the right to stay silent. Yes. You can choose to go before the police during interrogation or investigation and say you don't want to say anything. You'll be noted in their report like that, and they'll send it to the court. So silent may be the best option depending on the situation that you find yourself. But in a situation where you are being interrogated, if you know your answer clean, I'll not advise you to stay silent. Give your statement and maintain the statement all through. Anyway you're asked, make sure you give the sound statement. There should not be any inconsistencies in your story. That is where problems usually come in, because people have a lot of inconsistencies in their story. You say something different before the police, before the state council, say something different. Before they call you are bringing extremely new facts. Which one should they believe? Reason why it is always advisable to talk to a professional. If you are invited to the police, it's good to always brief a professional. Okay, this is the situation, this is the situation, this is the situation. Because it is not every case that we as lawyers, we intervene to defend you. At times we go to negotiate. When you are clearly wrong, when you're wrong, you're wrong. The fact that you hire a lawyer or you know whosoever doesn't exonerate you from criminal responsibility or liability. When you are wrong, you're wrong. You see, at times when you discuss, you can even call the lawyer of the other party and say, but man, this my client explained this situation to me. Let's fix a meeting. Let's discuss. We see how we solve this matter without even having to go to the police. And you just discuss, you go, and then you never even get to attend the convocation again. You solve the problem. So it's always good. But then some people who, if you charge someone 50, 100,000 for consultation and intervention, they say it's too much. But they'll go to the police and ignorantly pay 250, 500,000 there. Whereas if they paid a lawyer 100,000, just 100,000 for that money, once they know that you have a lawyer, they'll treat you differently. Once you come up to the police station with your lawyer, there are certain things that they will not do. There are certain ways that they will not treat you as if you came alone. You understand? There are certain kind of money that they will not ask, because they know that your lawyer is there and they know that what they are doing is wrong. But when you come there ignorant, you will still pay the money. That's why I usually tell some clients that if you don't want to pay me the money, you'll still pay a police. Problem no day. It's clear. It's as simple as that. Yeah, it is as simple as that. You don't want to give it here, you still go and give it there.
How much is this? How long does this consultation fee last?
Consultation is just to know the situation, to help you to know what you're dealing with.
Just that instance.
Yeah, to help you to know what you're dealing with. Yes, you come to consult.
The next week,
yeah, it's just like when you go to the police station. The hospital to consult. That consultation is to go and you explain what you think is wrong with you, and then now they prescribe now the possible test diagnosis to be conducted on you prior to you purchasing drugs for what you've been tested positive for, to be the actual problem that you may be facing. You understand? So you see that the consultation fees you pay at the hospital is different. The money you pay for diagnosis is different, and eventually drugs equally different. That way, so consultation fees is just for you to know what you're dealing with and to get advice at the best possible approach to deal with that situation. You understand? And then from there now, if it's a situation that warrants that you should take this particular step, take this particular step, or take this particular step, it's like diagnosing the problem. And then that step now may warrant that you spend additional monies in taking out that step. At times you may consult and then you decide you to kill the issue. At times you may consult and even decide I don't ever have a case. You understand? Yes. There are times that you may consult and discover that the case is time barred by law. Meaning that although you have a right to enforce, you've exceeded the legal time limits that you were supposed to enforce those rights. So if you take any action, it is dead on arrival. So the case ends there. You understand? So most times clients want you to tell them what they want to hear and not what you know it is right. And
what's one habit that people should develop to avoid legal trouble?
I think you should always stay on the side of caution. Learn how to ask questions. It's really going to help before entering all of these things. There are times that people may not even pay for consultation and then they come, I'm in my good mood, or any other person, you may have your good lawyer friend. You just consult that, I'm about to do this thing with this person. Mm-hmm. What do you think I should do? You understand? You may get a very, very good tip from that person on what to do and how to go about the whole situation than to ignorantly vent into it. Learn how to ask questions. You understand? Learn how to educate yourself to just always try to be on the side of caution. Learn to avoid problems because, of course, you can never avoid problems totally. Yeah. There are situations where you look for problems and there are other situations wherein the problems will look for you. You understand? So you just, better the problems look for you. So that way you know how to deal with it properly.